Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can I check my camera? Let's do a video check. How's the camera? Not very good. Was it good enough?
Good, brother.
Say again.
Your camera is good. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay. Alhamdulillah. Just let us know what you want to do. Shall I follow your lead?
Yeah, I'm just. We have so far just 3 of us in here.
Yeah.
So who's going first?
Yeah, say again, brother.
Who's going first?
It's up to you. I don't mind. I have a poem I can read.
Okay, so
Do you want me to just do quick like bit of ziyara?
Okay, I'm turning on the Google Meet. So now the streaming will be from our over here. So our conversation is live.
Okay.
So, brother Anis, you said you have a poem to start with. You can start.
Yeah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Al-Immati wal-Mahdiyina wa sallim taslim kathira. So we are gathered today to commemorate the martyrdom of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdal salati wassalam. Just, is it streaming to Facebook also or not yet?
It's streaming.
Okay, let's start. It's recording anyway, right? So let's start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. السلام عليك أيها علي بن أبي طالب أمير المؤمنين أخا رسول الله أسد الله الغالب. So this is a poem from Sa'sa' bin Sawhan. So when Sa'sa' he found out that Imam Ali alayhi salam had passed away, he wasn't in Kufa at the time. So this is a poem he recited. So I have the Arabic and I have the English. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ألا من لي بأنسك يا أخي ومن لي أن أبثك ما لدي طوتك خطوب دهرك بعد نشر كذاك خطوبه نشرا وطيا فلو نشرت قواك لي المنايا شكوت إليك ما صنعت إلي بكيتك يا أخي بدمع عيني فلم يغن البكاء عليك شيئا وكانت في حياتك لي عظات وأنت اليوم أوعظ منك حيا. Translation is, oh, who can I confide in, my brother dear? And who can I share with you all that I hold near? The years have passed since we last met, and time has unfolded like a tale that's been set. If only my woes could be eased by your might, I'd share all my burdens both day and night. I wept for you, my brother, with tears in my eyes, but tears could not alleviate my heart's heavy sighs. Your words of wisdom in my life held great weight, and today I am still learning from your great state. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad al-Immati wal-Mahdiyina wa sallim tasliman kathira.
Brother Tony, would you like to go next? Or perhaps if he's taking some time, I can start with my thing itself.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Bismillah ar-Rahman.
Just check that it's streaming onto Facebook as well.
Yeah, I think Brother Alamdar can check, please.
Yeah.
I'll just start reciting.
Okay.
Maula li Jan, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ya Shah-e Mardan. One second. Did I even... Sorry. Let's start again. Maula li Jan, Maula li Jan, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ya Shah-e Mardan. For haq and batil. You are the Mizan, Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali Jan. Ali, you are the one, no one could assail, the selfless warrior, history shall hail, the one for who the Lord sent all Zulfiqar, the one who Mustafa titled Al-Qarrar, Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali Jan. Amir al-Mu'minin, Ya Shah-e Mardan, for Haqq and Batil, you are the Mizan. Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali Jan. Your mother Fatima, she named you Haidar, and like a lion you won Khandaq and Khaybar. Shabe Hijrat we see you as Murtaza. Ghadirekum we hear Man kuntu Mawla. Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali Jan. Amir al-Mu'minin, Ya Shah-e Mardan. For Haqq and Batil, you are the Mizan. Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali Jan. Your patience and piety, moral excellence, your knowledge and empathy, peak of eloquence. If your example all Muslims would embrace, we would be paragons of justice and grace. We would be paragons of justice and grace. Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali Jan, Amir al-Mu'minin, Ya Shah-e Maradan. For Haqq and Batil, you are the Mizan. Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali Jan.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
Brother Tony, you're up.
Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, you're clear. Go
Testing,
ahead.
testing. Can everybody? Okay, all right.
Yeah, clear.
I'm gonna recite a. I'm gonna recite a short poem written by Sister Sarah. Okay. My beloved Ali, how many deaths did you die before the poisoned sword struck your head? Was that really the most painful blow, or the countless assaults on your heart? Hate, contempt, and conspiracy, attempts to keep you out, so none would have to face the truth that they couldn't complete with you. Your life was full of attacks on you, while none of them was deserved. You served your Lord like no one did, but evil eye grappled you everywhere. My beloved Ali, you felt thorns in your throat and needles poking in your eye. How many times did they kill you before the poisoned sword struck your head? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad ala Imam al-Mahdi wa sallim taslima kathira.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. I'm going to read a short part from a ziyarah of Amir al-Mu'minin al-Islam when he is martyred. السلام على أمير المؤمنين، السلام على سيد الوصيين، السلام على إمام المتقين، السلام على وارث علم النبيين، السلام على يعصوب الدين، السلام على عصمة المؤمنين، السلام على قدرة الصادقين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام على حجة الأبرار، السلام على أبي الأئمة الأطهار السلام على المخصوص بذي الفقار السلام على ساقي أوليائه من حوض النبي المختار صلى الله عليه وآله ما اطرد الليل والنهار السلام على النبأ العظيم السلام على من أنزل الله فيه وإنه في أم الكتاب لدينا لعلي حكيم السلام على صراط الله المستقيم السلام على المنعوت في التوراة والإنجيل والقرآن الحكيم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد المهدي والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Whenever we talk about a personality like Imam Ali alayhi salam, it's very difficult to approach a topic because no matter what you do, you can't really fulfill his right. The short part of a ziyarah, which I read from now, it describes his character, describes his virtues, it describes his achievements. But from a sinner like me, to even try to attempt to explain his status is very difficult, because if you don't fully understand someone's status, you can't fully explain it to somebody else. This part of the ziyarah, it says, peace be on Amir al-Mu'mineen. Amir al-Mu'mineen means the commander of the believers. Peace be on the leader of al-Wasiyyin, the executors or the successors. The successors meaning successors of the prophets. So not only does it mean that he is the successor of the prophet, but it means that he is the chief of all the successors, meaning the Prophet Muhammad is the highest of the prophets and messengers, and Imam Ali is close to him, therefore he is higher than all the other successors. Then it says, peace be on the Imam of the God-fearing ones. So that means anyone who has any fear of God will certainly be attracted to Imam Ali. And Imam Ali is at the head of all the God-fearing people. Then it says, peace be on the inheritor of knowledge of the prophets, which means that all knowledge that was with the Prophet Muhammad himself ends up with Imam Ali alayhi salam. Then it says, peace be on Ya'sub ad-Din. Ya'sub ad-Din actually means, now it's translated as queen bee, but in Arab times, they used to regard the queen bee as male, so they would call it Ya'sub, they would call it like the main bee, let's say. Meaning that the whole of religion actually revolves around Imam Ali alayhi salam. Assalamu ala ismat al-mu'mineen. So peace be on the infallibility of the believers. And infallibility, as we know from Sayyid Ahmad al-Hassan, it's a two-way thing. One is that you hold on to the desire of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you avoid all maharim, all the haram things and unlawful things. And in that way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He guides you to what is good, what He likes, and He protects you from doing bad things. So Imam Ali is like the epitome of infallibility from amongst the believers. Then it says, peace be on the power or the ability of the truthful ones, and mercy of Allah and His blessings. Then it says, peace be on the hujjah of the pious people, meaning the proof of the pious people. Actually, the word hujjah, why do we use the word hujjah to refer to imams and to mahdis and to prophets? Because they are the proof that Allah exists. If it wasn't for them, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you wouldn't be able to prove that Allah is there. Then it says, peace be on the father of the pure imams, which means that Imam Ali himself, his status is in some narrations actually not just imam, but actually higher than an imam. There's a narration about the emerald tablet would say the Fatima salamullahi alayha, and it explains that this is the narration where Imam Baqir himself, alayhi salam, he also says that Jabir bin Abdullah, he saw this tablet in the hands of Sayyidah Fatima salam alayha. And that tablet had all the 12 Imams from the progeny of Ali and Fatima. So if they're from the progeny of Ali and Fatima, that means 12 Imams, including the Sayyid himself, he's one of the Imams. So in this small sentence here, it's saying, peace be on the pure Imam, the father of the pure Imams. Peace be on the one who is specialized or specified with Dhul Fiqar. Dhul Fiqar, as we know, was a sword given to Imam Ali alayhi salam. In fact, narrations say it was given by Jibreel himself. And this Dhul Fiqar was actually handed down through the Ahlul Bayt. It was with Imam Hussein alayhi salam also. Peace be on the one who gives water from his close ones, from the hawd, which is the pond of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, forever and ever. So this is saying peace on him forever and ever. Then the ziyarah talks about how the Imam alayhi salam is mentioned in the Quran. Peace be on An-Nabi al-Azim. Peace be on the mighty news. An-Nabi al-Azim, this is a phrase from Surah Amma Yatasa'aloon. So what's the mighty news? The mighty news is the walaya of Imam Ali alayhi salam. So this is saying peace be on the mighty news. And then the next sentence is saying peace be on the one about whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed وَإِنَّهُ فِي أُمِّ الْكِتَابِ لَدَيْنَا لَعَلِيٌّ حَكِيمٌ. This verse of the Quran, it names Imam Ali himself. This verse says that he is in the mother of the book, according to us, meaning according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Prophet Muhammad, لَعَلِيٌّ حَكِيمٌ, that Ali is wise. Then the ziyarah says, peace be on the path of Allah, the straight path. This is another reference to a verse of the Quran. The Quran itself says, when it talks about that Adam and Islam will be beguiled by, or the children of Adam will be beguiled by Iblis, it says, إِنَّهُ صِرَاطٌ عَلِيٌّ مُسْتَقِيمٌ, that it is a path which is Ali, which is straight. If you take this verse to mean the path is most high and it's straight, that also refers to Imam Ali. If you take the meaning to be this is the path which is Ali himself, which is straight, that's also correct. If anyone has any doubt about this, that this is the name of Imam Ali in the Quran, all he has to do is refer to the writings of Al-Hasan al-Basri, who was, according to the Sunni people, Sayyid al-Tabi'een, the head of all the Tabi'een, the followers of the Sahaba. He used to say, the name of Ali ibn Abi Talib is in the Quran. It says, إِنَّهُ صِرَاطُ عَلِيٍّ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. He used to say, it's mudaf ilayh, meaning this is the path of Ali, which is straight. He would go to that extent to say, this is the name of Imam Ali. He used to read the verse differently to other people. Then it says, peace be on the one who is described in the Torah, in the Injil, which is referred to as the Gospels, wal Quran al-Hakim, and in the Quran as well, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So this last sentence refers to when Imam Ali alayhi salam, before the battle of Khaybar, before the battle of Khaybar. As we know, the battle of Khaybar was one in which Imam Ali alayhi salam, he actually single-handedly, he stormed the qila, the fort of the Jews, because Khaybar was towards the top of the Arabian Peninsula. So Jews had actually come down and settled in that part of Arabia because they were waiting for a Nabi Akhir Zaman, the Prophet in the end times. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had been at Khaybar to lay siege to Khaybar. It was a stronghold where the Jews were living. It was fertile land. And Prophet Muhammad, at that particular battle, he had sent Abu Bakr ibn Abi Quhafa. And Abu Bakr ibn Abi Quhafa had failed in conquering the fort. And then he had sent Umar ibn al-Khattab. And Umar ibn al-Khattab had also failed in conquering the fort. So then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, then he said, so tomorrow I'm going to give the banner to somebody who Allah loves and he loves Allah. So the narrations say that all the Sahaba were like yatatawaloon, they were like doing this, hoping that Prophet Muhammad, the next day, the Prophet Muhammad would choose them. So the Prophet Muhammad was walking by the Sahaba and he was looking for something, and they were doing this, hoping that he would give him the flag, each one hoping he would give him the flag. So Prophet Muhammad said, where is Ali ibn Abi Talib? They said he has an issue in his eyes, so he's resting. So the Prophet Muhammad said, call him to me, bring him here. So when they brought Imam Ali alayhi salam, Prophet Muhammad, he took his blessed saliva, put it in the eyes of Imam Ali. Imam Ali's eyes, they were cured. Then Prophet Muhammad, he gave him the banner, he put his imam on his head, he gave him the sword, and he sent him to conquer the Khaybar fort, and he did dua for him. So when Imam Ali alayhi salam, people bear witness that when he was going to conquer the fort, there were a number of things which happened. One thing happened, which was that he was faced by one of the famous Jewish warriors, faced him, and Imam Ali alayhi salam, he defeated him. That sent a shockwave through all of the Jews, because if you defeated a warrior in those days, then that used to deflate your morale. It was like if you took the flag from the opposite side, because the flag was protected. So if you took the flag, then your morale dropped. Likewise, if you defeated a warrior, as they would do before any battle, like they did in Badr, they did in Uhud also, then that also broke the morale of the enemy. So Imam Ali alayhi salam, he defeated this Jewish warrior. And then after this, people were obviously throwing stones and rocks at him from the fort. The Jews were throwing things down on him. So he reached the fort, and the narrations say he single-handedly broke the door off the fort. Khaybar door was huge. It was not something that one man normally would be able to do. So he broke it off the hinges, and he protected himself from the rocks that were coming from the top. And then he single-handedly stormed the fort, and he finished everybody. He conquered. And of course, Muslims came in after him. But had it not been for him, there would have been no conquering of Khaybar. This is just one instance where Imam Ali alayhi salam excelled. And at the time before Rasulullah sent Imam Ali, he said to Imam, he said, tell them that you are Ilya, who is in their books. They had his name mentioned in their books. Some people say it was Ilya, some say it was Aliyah, but it was written in their books that he would be the one who would conquer. So they knew this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already given them news of this. So this is what this last part of the ziyarah is referring to. Not only this place, but Imam Ali alayhi salam was often mentioned in the books of the Christians and the Jews as being the brother of the Prophet, as being his vicegerent. The Quran, just before I go on to that Quran, I have, mashallah tabarakallah, I have a whole list of things which we could go through with Imam Ali. The list it's endless list of things we can discuss. One night's not enough to commemorate him. 2 nights are not enough. 3 nights are not enough. Inshallah, next year we'll do a few nights from the time that he was attacked until his martyrdom. But just to give you something which isn't very well known these days, is that in the time of before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's a narration again by Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, where he's asking the Prophet Muhammad about how the Prophet Muhammad was created. And in this narration, Prophet Muhammad says that there was a time when the Arabs came to Sayyidina Abu Talib, salamullahi alayhi, and they came to Sayyidina Abu Talib and they asked him to do dua for rainwater. And so Sayyidina Abu Talib alayhi salam, he climbed the mountain and he said to them, Ayyuhan nas, O people, you should know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done something this night. And he has created something. This was actually at the birth of Imam Ali alayhi salam. He has created something. If you do not obey him and do not accept him and do not accept him as Imam, rightful Imam, then many bad things will happen to you. There was an earthquake, and the earthquake will continue with you. So then he said to them, he said this to them, he warned them. Then they said to him, Ya Abu Talib, we say what you say. Then he wept and he lifted his hands. Sayyidina Abu Talib lifted his hands and he said, Ilahi wa Sayyidi, as'aluka bil Muhammadiyya al Mahmuda. Oh my Lord, oh my God, and my Master, as'aluka bil Muhammadiyya al Mahmuda. I ask you with the Muhammadi praised things. But listen to the Arabic here, listen to the Arabic. Al-Muhammadiyya al-Mahmuda. By the Muhammadi praised things. Wal-Alawiyya al-Aliyya. And by those exalted Alawi things. Alawi means related to Imam Ali. Wal-Fatimiyya al-Bayda. And by the white Fatimiyya things. إِلَّا تَفَضَّلْتَ عَلَيَّ عَلَى تُهَامَ بِالرَّأْفَةِ وَالرَّحْمَةِ. He's saying, Ya Allah, have mercy and leniency towards Tuhama. Tuhama was the area of Makkah where he lived, where the Quraysh lived at that time. So Jabir ibn Abdullah, he says, Ya Rasulullah, وَالَّذِي فَلَقَ الْحَبَّ وَبَرِئَ النَّسْمَ. Prophet Muhammad, Jabir says, Prophet Muhammad said to Jabir, by the one who splits the seed and who sends the winds, قد كانت العرب تكتب هذه الكلمات فيدعون بها عند شدائدهم في الجاهلية. That the Arabs used to write these words and they would do dua with these words whenever they face any hardship in the time of ignorance. وهي لا تعلمها وهي لا تعرف حقيقتها. But they don't know these words. They don't know what they mean. They don't know the reality of these words. حتى ولد علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام. Until Ali ibn Abi Talib عليه السلام was born. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. If you open any Sunni books, Shia books on the virtues of Imam Ali alayhi salam, it's like you will not find any part of the Quran, but it discusses Imam Ali. You can open Surah Al-Baqarah, you can open Surah Al-Najm, you can open Surah Al-Dahr, Surah Al-Rahman, Surah Al-Qalam, you can open Surah Al-Bariyah. There's so many verses. You can open Surah Al-Duha or Al-Shams. So just bear in mind, Surah Al-Shams. What's in Surah Al-Shams? Surah Al-Shams starts off, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا, by the sun and by its light. وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا, by the moon when it follows it. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا, by the night when it covers it. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا, by the day when it makes it appear. Here, somebody asked Sayyid Ahmad Hassan, Salamullahi alayhi. What does this mean? What do these words mean? The Sayyid said that these do not mean what you think from the apparent meaning. He said, how can it be that the day makes the sun visible? It's the sun which makes the day visible, which brings the day. It's not logical. So these words, the sun, the moon, the following, these are referring to the sun is Rasulullah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The moon is referring to Imam Ali alayhi salam because it's following Rasulullah. The night, when it covers the sun. The night meaning the period of despotic rulers, Banu Abbas, Banu Umayyah, in those times. And in these times still, Banu Abbas, the despotic rulers who are professing to follow Imam Ali alayhi salam, showing love for Ali and Ali, but at the same time they are giving a hard time to the Ansar, hafidhahumullah jami'an. So this is that time, وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا, by the day when it makes it visible, when it glorifies it. What's this day? This day then is the return of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. So this surah starts off like this verse of this chapter of the Quran. Then it goes on. وَاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا, by the sky and who built it. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, by the soul and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it measured it, it proportioned it. And it goes on like this. Has some other sections. And then you reach the point where it says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, that person is successful who purified the soul. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا, that person is in loss who pushed the soul into sin, ملوث, into bad things. Then كَذَّبَتْ ثَمُودُ بِطَغْوَاهَا, Thamud denied with its transgression. Thamud was a tribe, a dwelling in Arabia, who denied Prophet Salih, as I remember, Salih. إِذٍ بَعَثَ أَشْقَاهَا, when it's ashqa, the most unlucky or the worst person. It's difficult to translate into English. You can say the ill-fated one. The ill-fated one, ashqaha. Well, this guy, he got up. What did he do? Allah had tested them with a she-camel. Allah said, here's a she-camel, here's a baby with a she-camel. One day for the she-camel, one day for you, water. So one day the she-camel can have water, one day you can have water. So what happened? إِذٍ بَعَثَ أَشْقَاهَا. So the ill-fated one, the worst of them, he got up. فَقَالَ لَهُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ وَسُقْيَاهَا. So the Messenger of Allah in that time said, نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ, this is the she-camel of Allah, beware. وَسُقْيَاهَا, and it's feeding, it's watering, beware of these two things. فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَعَقَرُوهَا. So they denied him, and then they hamstrung the camel. فَدَمْدَمَ عَلَيْهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ بِذَنْبِهِمْ فَسَوَّاهَا. So Allah pounded them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He pounded them because of their sin. فَسَوَّاهَا, and He flattened them. وَلَا يَخَافُ عُقْبَاهَا, and He doesn't fear the aftermath. What has all this to do with Imam Ali alayhi salam? Imam Ali is the moon who's following Rasulullah. Imam Ali is the father of the Imams who are coming after him. Imam Ali, he is the best of mankind after Prophet Muhammad. When the Sahaba heard this surah being read to them, they said, Ya Rasulullah, man ashqal awwalin. They said, who was the worst, ill-fated person, the stupidest person of the ones who've gone before? He said, aqirun naqa. Then they said, man ashqal akhirin. Who is the worst, ill-fated one of those who come after? He said, qatiluka ya Ali. He said, Ya Ali, the one who kills you. There's no forgiving this person. This is the link to this surah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is saying, if you like Imam Ali alayhi salam, he is almost like Naqatullah, almost like she camel of Allah, is a test. In fact, this kind of similitude is not unknown to Al Bayt. In Karbala, when Abdullah Radi alayhi salam was shot with an arrow, Imam Hussein alayhi salam said words to the effect, Allahumma la yakun hadha ahwan alayka min fasilat naqat as-salih, or kama qala alayhi salam. Oh Allah, don't let this. He was holding Abdullah Radi in his hand, and blood was dripping. He took the blood, he threw in the air. He said, Ya Allah, don't let this be light on you. Then the killing of the baby of the she camel of Salih. So the Ahl al-Bayt in our society is a test. Imam Ali alayhi salam was a test. Prophet Muhammad himself said, and all Sunnis, Shias, they know this. Prophet Muhammad said to him, the one who kills you is the worst of the one who come after. And what did Imam Ali alayhi salam say? This is common knowledge in all the books. He said, Ya Rasulullah, what will my religion be at that time? All he cared about was, will he go to Allah in a good way? And Rasulullah said, yes, you'll be in a good way, your religion will be intact. So Imam Ali alayhi salam, in a sense, was given glad tidings of paradise. In the end of his days, sometimes he used to say, when he was fed up from the Sayyid Salam alayhi, he often says, Imam Ali was wronged even by those who used to man yadda'i muwalati, even by the ones who claimed to be his followers, that he used to be wronged and cheated by them. So many things happened, so many things, he did everything right, but it didn't matter. Unfortunately, all of us, we have this darkness, this ana, this ego, that even like Imam Ali walking the earth was like God walking the earth. He was something special. There will never be another like him after the Prophet Muhammad. Nobody like him. He was just unbelievably amazing. Even him used to feel let down. And there's something called Munajat, Ali ibn Abi Talib, which was the du'as he used to do in seclusion. They say after Prophet Muhammad passed away, he would often go and do dua by himself, pray alone, because Prophet Muhammad's not there, say the Fatima is not there, and Al-Hasanain were young then. Extreme time of loneliness, especially when the Muslim Ummah turned away from him. Everyone turned away from him at one time, apart from Sayyidah Fatima, salam alayha, before she was martyred. So all he had was Sayyidah Fatima and Al-Hasanain, Sibatain. Of course, there were people who were close to him, people who were faithful to him, companions who were amazing companions, like Sa'sa bin Sawhan, whose poem I read in the beginning, or like Malik al-Ashtar. And the Sayyid himself, he sometimes says to the Ansar who near him, if only I had two of you were like Malik al-Ashtar. If only there were two of you like Malik al-Ashtar, none of this would have happened. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad rimmati wal mahdiin wa sallim taslim kathira. So what was special about Malik al-Ashtar? Malik al-Ashtar was one of those people who gave himself for Imam Ali, with him for every battle. Sa'sa bin Sawhan, these were warriors. The hatred towards Imam Ali alayhi salam didn't just start after the Prophet Muhammad passed away. It was with him even when the Prophet Muhammad was alive. Prophet Muhammad used to say, "La yuhibbuka illa mu'min, wa la yubghiduka illa munafiq." Ya Ali, only the believer loves you, but only the hypocrite hates you. So Imam Ali knew, people used to know. They used to see, if Imam Ali is at the funeral of somebody, that means the guy's a believer. If he's not there, he's probably a hypocrite. Some people would do this. Why wouldn't you do this? Of course you would. This is why he is known as the door to heaven. He's known as the one who al-qasim bain al-jannati wal nar. He is the one who divides between heaven and hell. This is Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. So Imam Ali alayhi salam, the hatred towards him didn't start. Munafiq hypocrites didn't come after the Prophet passed away. They were there even when he was alive, and he would see the hypocrisy in people because of how they would respond to Imam Ali alayhi salam. So when Imam Ali alayhi salam, he was defeating people in Badr, he was defeating people in Uhud through thick and thin. When people were leaving the Prophet Muhammad, especially in Uhud and in Hunayn, who was with the Prophet Muhammad all the way? Imam Ali alayhi salam. Through thick and thin. In Uhud, it's well known, and in fact, the Prophet Muhammad himself, what we learn in the Hawza of the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, is Prophet Muhammad himself used to be actively involved in the battle campaigns. He wasn't somebody at the end hiding in a tent. No, he was there. He had weapons with him. Some narrators, some historians, they say in the Battle of Uhud, when everybody had left the Prophet after Khalid bin Walid had come from, if you ever visit Uhud and do ziyarah of Shuhada Uhud of the martyrs, you will see the hill is still there, the mountain is still there. So you know that where the archers were, and Khalid bin Walid came from behind to attack the Muslims. The Muslims ran after the booty, but Imam Ali stayed with the Prophet Muhammad. And some historians say that after Prophet Muhammad was attacked and he was unconscious, he woke up and he saw Imam Ali there. I mean, this was battle with swords, with heavy instruments. Prophet Muhammad was hit on the helmet, and two of the rings went into his head, and he broke his incisors here. He was in his 50s, and his teeth were broken. So he was injured from then onwards. He would have had the injury, broken tooth. They didn't have advanced dentistry like we do today. So he would have probably carried this issue with him. But Imam Ali stayed with him, and every time a group came, Imam Ali alayhi salam would fight them off. 10 people, 15 people, it didn't matter. And Sayyidina Ahmad Hassan salamun alayhi, he says words like to Imam Ali that you tired all of us. We did things nobody else can possibly do. This is the Sayyid saying this, which means people like us, we're very far behind. Imam Ali, he did things without thinking, without fear. He went and he would come out of battle every time with heavy injuries. You can just imagine one person stabbing here, one person stabbing there. He used to come out of battle every time with heavy injuries. This is just the aspect of his life in war when he was with the Prophet Muhammad. وَأَنْ لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ مَا سَعَى وَأَنَّ سَعْيَهُ سَوْفَ يُرَى. The Quran in Surah An-Najm says, and what does man have but what he strives for? And he will surely see what he strived for. Even Sunni people, they know Imam Ali alayhi salam, he did things nobody else will ever be able to reach, ever. This is just talking about his battle aspects. Everything in his life, it's miraculous. You see him, you remember God, you remember Allah. If you love him, you're a believer. If you hate him, you're a hypocrite. Shi'atu Ali fil Jannah. The Shia of Ali are in heaven. This word is in the Quran. وَإِنَّ مِن شِيعَتِهِ لَإِبْرَاهِيمَ أو كما قال الله تعالى. It doesn't make sense that Prophet Muhammad would never use this word that's in the Quran. He used to use all the words in the Quran. It was part of his lexicon, it's part of his way of talking. Ali anta wa shi'atuka fil jannah. You and your Shia in heaven. So these people like Sa'ad bin Sawhan, people also like the ones who were with the Prophet Muhammad, the best of the Sahaba, they went with Imam Ali after Prophet Muhammad passed away. People like Ammar bin Yasir, people like Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, also the famous Uwais al-Qarni. Uwais al-Qarni, there's narrations from Imam Ali. Uwais al-Qarni is revered so much by the Sunni Sufis, so much. Where did Uwais die? He was martyred with the fighting alongside Imam Ali in the battle of either the Camel or Siffin. I believe it was Siffin, because he was martyred with Ammar bin Yasir and also Khuzama Adu Shahadatain. So Uwais al-Qarni, the story of Uwais is that when Uwais al-Qarni, Prophet Muhammad knew about him and he accepted Prophet Muhammad in his dreams. He believed in Prophet Muhammad. When Imam Ali alayhi salam was going one place in battle, I think for either Battle of the Camel or for Siffin, he stopped at a river and people were saying, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, you stopped here. Is there a reason you stopped? He says, the Prophet Muhammad promised me a certain number of people in my army. Listen to this phenomenal narration. He promised me a certain number of people in my army. And I have to wait until حتى يكتمل العدد, until the number is complete. This is the hujjah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has focus on these people until the number is complete. And they waited and they waited and they waited until they saw Uwais coming. Uwais joined and they moved on. They say about Uwais al-Qarni that he said that they asked him when he came to Kufa after the Prophet passed away, that he said, you are Uwais? Yes, I'm Uwais. Min al-Qarn, na'am. Laka wa anta barun biha. You have a mother, you are obedient to her. He said, yes. Kana bika bars. فدعوت الله فبرك إلا موضع درهم. So you had vitiligo all over your body, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you did dua to Allah and He cured it apart from موضع dirham, like a small dirham, like a coin, a big coin. There's only a little bit left on your body. He said yes. And then they said the Prophet Muhammad left his shirt for you. He said when Uwais comes, he will come, find him, give him my shirt. This man, the Sufis, they adore him, almost worship him. This man is in the army of Imam Ali alayhi afdal salatu wasalam. Now think, what is the status of Amir al-Mu'mineen? The legends of Islam, the legends of the Sufis, the legends of the Sunnis, they're all bowing down to Ali ibn Abi Talib. All of them bowing down to him. The Sahaba, who were the best of the Sahaba, they went and they joined Imam Ali alayhi salam. They fought alongside him, fighting against Muawiyah, fighting against al-Mariqeen, al-Naqithin, al-Qasitin. Prophet Muhammad said to him, you will fight. The Prophet Muhammad said to the Sahaba that you should fight alongside Ali ibn Abi Talib, al-Mariqeen, al-Qasitin, al-Naqithin. They used to ask him, who are these people? And he would say, he would describe them, people of Syria, the people of Basra, of the camel, etc., like this. Then they would go and they'll tell Imam Ali, Ya Ali, the Prophet Muhammad said this to us. And when Prophet Muhammad, sometimes Sahaba would say that when we tell him, he doesn't even react. Why doesn't he react? Because he already knows this. Prophet Muhammad told him before, when they're alone. Now he's telling the Sahaba. Nothing new for Imam Ali. He knows what's going to happen. And he said, you have to fight alongside Ali against these people. Because Ali is with the truth. Truth is with Ali. The Quran is with Ali. Ali is with the Quran. And the narrations then from the Sahaba, like Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, he says, I bear witness, I was with Ali ibn Abi Talib when we fought the Khawarij. And I bear witness that we brought the leader of the Khawarij, the one who the Prophet described. When we brought his body, it was exactly like the Prophet Muhammad described. The Sahaba, they saw this playing out in front of their eyes. So brothers and sisters, we barely touched anything. This is the point. when you start talking about Imam Ali alayhi salam, you cannot do justice. Where do you start? Where do you end? He is the Lam in Alif Lam Mim, Muhammad is the Mim, Fatima is the Alif. Why? Because Alif is contained within the Lam. So Fatima is the inner door, inner of the door to the city of knowledge. The city of knowledge is Muhammad. Ali is the door of the knowledge, the outer part of the door. أنا مدينة العلم وعلي بابها. أنا مدينة العلم وعلي بابها. These are, what can you say? Prophet Muhammad used to say, if you want the knowledge from me, you have to come through Ali. Abu Bakr ibn Abi Quhafa used to sometimes look, this is the Shahr al-Nahj al-Balagha, Sunni books. He would sometimes look at the face of Imam Ali in the Majlis. And so his daughter, Aisha bint Abi Bakr, she said to him, my father, whenever you're in the Majlis, you look at the face of Ali a lot. What's the reason? Because she had hatred for him. Everyone knows she had hatred for him, unfortunately. He said, Ya binti, another ila wajh Ali in ibadah. Looking at the face of Ali is ibadah, and I heard this from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just looking at the face of Ali is ibadah. This means following him, saying his name is like dhikr. When the Sayyid sallallahu alayhi says, Sabbih isma rabbika al-ala, this is referring to the name of Imam Ali himself, praise the greater name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the name of Ali ibn Abi Talib. But sadly, we have to come to the point where we talk about Imam Ali alayhi Islam's final hours, which is extremely painful, extremely difficult to utter these words. But by following, inshallah, the way that they do this in the house, in the Najaf office, I'll read a little bit from one of the maqatil and just translate briefly, inshallah, bidhnillah. Then, inshallah, we'll close by reading through the wasiyyah of Imam Ali alayhi salam to Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. So it was a night of 21st of Ramadan. Just imagine, Ramadan, people are going for prayers, the Qiyam al-Layl, Siyam, and in this night it was the 19th of Ramadan, when Abdurrahman ibn Muljim, who had met the Imam alayhi salam, by the way, and the Imam there's a long discussion in the narrations the Imam had with him, very, very long. But the Imam, he inquired, he met him. He said, it's narrated that actually he was in the, some people say he was in the armies of the Imam. Some people say he was in the enemy's armies. Some people say he was actually a follower of the Imam, lover of the Imam. And the Imam met him, he spoke to him, and he actually treated him well. And the Imam came to realize this is Abdurrahman ibn Muljim who was going to kill me. And he told him. And Abdurrahman ibn Muljim was extremely shocked. How can it be Amir al-Mu'mineen? And some narrations say he said to the Imam, kill me now. Kill me now before I have a chance to do this. Kill me. I don't want to end up becoming an enemy of yours. And the Imam said, you didn't do anything wrong yet. How can I execute you or kill you? So some narrations say that he was with the Imam in the battle of Camel, in the battle of Safin, when Muawiyah was defeated. And then Abdurrahman ibn Muljim wanted to go and announce that the Imam alayhi salam was victorious, and he wanted to go to Kufa, so the Imam allowed him to go. Then there are different narrations what exactly happened. Some narrations say he was beguiled by a lady whose family had been killed by Imam Ali in these battles, and she hated Imam Ali, and she beguiled him. She attracted him. She said, if you want to marry me, then you have to give me a cheap mahar, dowry, and an expensive dowry. The cheap dowry is, you should give me some wealth from your inheritance. And the expensive dowry is, I want you to kill Ali ibn Abi Talib. So some narrations say that he was beguiled and he was tricked by her. He fell in love with her and he fell into her trap. And she was the one who gave him the sword and poisoned the sword. Some narrations say that he fell into company of Khawarij. And some people say that some of his family were killed in the battles against Imam Ali, and when he knew, then he began to hate Imam Ali. There are different narrations. Either way, he was ashqa al-akhirin. He was a ill-fated one of the ones who come after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His sword was poisoned. It's narrated also that he and two other Khawarij people, they had planned to finish off 3 prominent personalities who were at the time. One was Muawiyah, one was Amr bin al-As, and one was Imam Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. And this ill-fated person, he agreed to attack Imam Ali alayhi salam. Imam Ali had been Khalifa, had the government in his hands for a few number of years, had made many improvements, and it was Fajr time. Even when some narrations say that this man, Abdurrahman ibn Muljim, was hiding in the mosque, waiting for the Imam to come out and lead the prayer. And one of the companions of the Imam actually heard this person, saw this person, and heard him murmuring something, that he's trying to going to kill Imam Ali. And then he heard, and then he was trying to warn the Imam on Islam. But the Imam didn't come out from the usual door he came to lead the prayer. He came out from another door. So he'd already gone forward to lead the prayer. And it was in the second rak'ah when Abdurrahman ibn Muljim, Lanatullahi alayhi, he came and he attacked Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he knew, he was given glad tidings by the Prophet Muhammad what was going to happen. He knew exactly what was going to happen. He said that Prophet Muhammad told him that his beard would be colored from the blood from his head. So that means the blood came down here, down his face, down to his beard. That all the way down. So he hit him here on his blessed head. The head where Prophet Muhammad used to put the amama. This same head is where this man he attacked. It's like Prophet Muhammad used to kiss the mouth of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, kiss them here, the same mouth. Harmala in Karbala, he shoots the arrow, or one of the enemies of Imam Hussein shoots the arrow into the Imam's mouth when he's trying to drink water. The enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they always attack the blessed places where the Prophet Muhammad would kiss. Here, Abdurrahman ibn Muljim, he attacks the head of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he said, narrations say, he said, Fuztu wa Rabbil Kaaba, I am successful by the Lord of the Kaaba. And until today, people remember this phrase of his. He was taken into care, and he stayed in care for a number of days. And of course, people wept. And Imam Ali alayhi salam, because he was Qudwa, he is a leader of all humanity, he said, this man who attacked me, treat him well. And until my fate is decided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I survive, then I'm enough for him. If I die, he said, then hit him once. Kill it. Don't mutilate him. Don't burn him. We just finish him one time. But feed him. Feed him until my fate comes. Of course, people were weeping for days and days. Towards the end of the Imam's life, he was giving advice to people what to do after he passed away. In his last breaths, he was saying to them, to say the Zainab, Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hussein, he was giving them instructions. He was also saying, I can see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam right here. He's saying, come join us. And I can see Hamza ibn Abi Talib, Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. Hamza, who is Prophet Muhammad's uncle, son of Abdul Muttalib. And he's saying, both of them are there calling me, saying, come what you will come to now is much better from what you are in. Can you imagine? Prophet Muhammad's been watching, waiting for Imam Ali to come. Come and join us. Come. Leave all this. Leave all these people. Time to go. Leave all this behind you. Imam Ali used to say on the pulpit, he said, I've been given so much knowledge. Ask me before you lose me. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me special knowledge. This is coming from Imam Baqir. He would say, he would say this, that he would breathe heavily, that I've been given knowledge, learn Saluni qabla an tafqiduni. Ask me before you lose me. And he would sometimes, when he was fed up of how the enemies of Allah would attack the Shia, people wouldn't support him to fight Muawiyah. He would say, you ill-treated me. Words to the effect that you have filled my liver with pus. And the Sayyid Salamun alayhi, he's also said this in his speeches. That you've given me such a hard time. So Prophet Muhammad is saying, come, time to go. And where's Imam Ali? We know he's with the Prophet Muhammad. He is in that level below Prophet Muhammad. He is the noon, Prophet Muhammad is the ba. Prophet Muhammad is a vessel taking knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is a hijab. And with the hijab is Imam Ali. And Imam Ali is like the hijab between Prophet Muhammad and the Imams. Not us, between Prophet Muhammad and the Imams. And the Imams are like the hijab between Imam Ali and the Mahdis. And the 313 are like the hijab between first Mahdi and the Ansar. So you see, we are sitting like here like ants, and we're trying to imagine these personalities. You call on Imam Ali, call on Sayyidah Fatima, call on Rasulullah, and the help comes. It comes. You call Sayyidah Khadija, Sayyidah Zainab, the help comes. Call on Imam Ali, the help comes. We know, everyone knows who does this, you get the help. Just a few words, final words from his wasiyah. Salamullahi alayhi. It's narrated in the book of Sulaym ibn Qais. So we all know the wasiyah is mutawatira. It's often narrated ma'nan, and also Sheikh Tusi. If you read through research by the Ansar, Blessed Ansar, you will find all the narrators of the wasiyah, the Blessed Will, are mutawatir, are reliable. Not just reliable, they were actually top scholars of their day. They were authors. They were leaders in the Shia community. They were most reliable of the people. So the wasiyah, there's no doubt about the wasiyah, no doubt at all. It's impossible for there not to be a will of the Prophet Muhammad. But just a very beautiful narration in this book, Al-Wasiyah wal-Wasiyah Ahmad al-Hassan, really life-changing book. Here it says that in the book of Sulaym ibn Qais al-Hilali, he says, I was there when Imam Ali al-Islam made his will. حين أوصى إلى ابنه الحسن, when he left his will for his son Al-Hasan. وأشهد على وصيته الحسين ومحمدا, and he made witness on his wasiyah Imam al-Husayn and Muhammad bin al-Hanafiyyah. That's what this is, Muhammad bin al-Hanafiyyah. He was another son of Imam Ali. وجميع ولده ورثاء أهل بيته and وشيعته, and all of his progeny and the leaders of his Ahl Bayt and his Shia. So then this is, of course, Sayyid Zainab's, the Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Husayn, all of the wider family members like Ibn Abbas, his children, and of his Talib and Ja'far and Aqil, his own brother's children. ثم دفع إليه الكتاب والسلاح. Remember these words. Then he gave the book to Al-Hasan and the weapon. This is the same sunnah of Al-Bayt, which is coming from Rasulullah. Rasulullah gave the ring, gave the weapon, gave the imama to Imam Ali. Same thing here. he gave the book, gave the weapon to Imam al-Hasan. And he said, Ya bunay, amarani Rasulullah an usiya ilayk. Oh my son, Prophet Muhammad, he bequeathed to me, he instructed me, and usiya ilayk, that I give the wasiyah to you. وأن أدفع إليك كتبي وسلاحي, and I give to you my books and my weapons. كما أوصى إلي رسول الله, in the same way he gave it to me. The same sunnah. ولن تجد لسنة الله تبديلا. ودفع إلي كتبه وسلاحه. He gave me his books and his weapon. What's the book he gave? He gave the Al-Kitab al-Asim min al-Dalal. The will. Prophet Muhammad had dictated the will to Imam Ali, he gave it to him. And there were other books like of Zakat and some Sharia. There was some stuff Imam Ali alayhi salam had. That's from the Prophet Muhammad to him. Then he's giving it to Imam Hassan. He's giving everything to Imam Hassan alayhi afdal salatu wassalam. وَأَمَرَنِي أَنْ آمُرَكَ إِذَا حَضَرَكَ الْمَوْتِ, and he told me to tell you when death comes to you, فَإِذَا حَضَرَتْهُ الْوَفَاةِ, in the will, when death comes to him, what to do? فَلْيُسَلِّمْهَا إِلَىٰ إِبْنِهِ, then give it to my son Al-Husayn, or Ibn, to his son if it's another Imam. وَأَمَرَنِي أَنْ آمُرَكَ, and he commanded me to tell you, command you, إِذَا حَضَرَكَ الْمَوْتِ, when death comes to you, أن تدفعه إلى أخيك الحسين, you give it to your brother Al-Husayn. قال ثم أقبل على ابنه الحسين, then he spoke to Imam Al-Husayn. This is 40 after Hijrah, by the way. This approximately when Imam Ali alayhi salam passed away. 40 after Hijrah. So by then Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein would have been in their, I would think, close to their 40s if Imam Ali alayhi salam was already beyond that age. So then he turned to Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. He said, وَأَمَرَكَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ أَن تَدْفَعْهُ إِلَىٰ إِبْنِكَ عَلِي ibn al-Husayn, and Rasulullah commanded you to give it to your son Ali ibn al-Husayn as-Sajjad. ثم أقبل على ابني علي ibn al-Husayn, and Imam as-Sajjad was alive then, in time of Imam Ali. Imam Sajjad is alive as a baby, as a child. ثم أقبل على ابني علي ibn al-Husayn, then he turned to his son Ali ibn Hussein. You see the way of Imam Ali, he is not leaving any doubt, any gap. This is his way. إن الله يحب أن إذا عمل أحدكم أن يتقن في عمله أو كما قال. There's an Arabic narration. Some people say Prophet Muhammad said this, but it's an Arabic phrase. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, when you do anything, you do it to the best of your ability. Imam Ali not leaving any, not for the Imams necessarily, but for people around so they can see, not leaving anything. ثم أقبل على ابنه علي ibn al-Husayn, then he said to Imam al-Sajjad, وأمرك رسول الله, and Rasulullah said about you, to you as well, أن تدفع وصيتك إلى ابنك محمد ibn Ali, that you should give your wasiyah, your will, to your son Muhammad ibn Ali. فأقرأه من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم ومني السلام, and give to him Muhammad al-Baqir, from me and Prophet Muhammad salam. This is the way of Ahl al-Bayt. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. And the narration continues. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. I think if we can do a marathon will be better actually, inshallah, so we benefit from Madhya. If anybody has something they can start, let's begin, inshallah.
I don't think anyone is sorry. I don't think anyone has thing at the moment. So
sorry, go ahead, brother. We can read this. inshallah, we can quickly read a little bit from this poem of Sa'sa. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay. Or there's another thing we can do. We can just read a bit from the ziyarah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So I'm going to do in Arabic. Hopefully, just try to follow along as best you can. Yeah. السلام على صاحب الحوض. السلام على صاحب الحوض. السلام على صاحب الحوض. السلام على حامل اللواء. السلام على صاحب الحوض. السلام على حامل اللواء. السلام على خامس أهل العباء. السلام على خامس أهل العباء. Peace be on the companion of the pond. Peace be on the companion of the pond. Peace be upon the carrier of the flag. Peace be upon the carrier of the flag. Peace be upon the fifth of the people of the cloak. Peace be on the fifth of the people of the cloak. Assalamu ala al-ba'it ala al-firash. Peace be on the one who spent the night in the bed of the Prophet. Assalamu ala al-ba'it ala al-firash. Peace be on the one who spent the night in the bed of the Prophet. Assalamu ala tali' bab Khaybar. Peace on the one who ripped the door of Khaybar. Assalamu ala tali' bab Khaybar. Peace be on the one who ripped the door of Khaybar. Assalamu ala mukallim al-fityah. Peace be on the one who spoke to the youth. في كهفهم بلسان الأنبياء. In the cave with the tongue of the prophets. Assalamu ala munbi' al-qalib. Peace be on the one who initiated al-qalib. Assalamu ala qali' al-sakhra. Peace on the one who tore away the stone. وقد عاجز عنها الرجال الأشداء. And the strong men were not able to do it. Assalamu ala mukhatib al-thu'ban. Peace on the one who spoke to the snake. Ala mimbar al-Kufa bilisan al-fusaha. On the pulpit of Kufa with an eloquent tongue. Assalamu ala mukhatib al-dhib. Peace on the one who spoke to the wolf. ومكلم الجمجمة بالنهروان. And who spoke to the skulls in Nahrawan. Assalamu ala al-Imam al-Zaki. Peace on the pure Imam. Halif al-Mihrab. The one who was martyred in the Mihrab. Assalamu ala man indahu ta'weel al-muhkam. Peace on the one who has the explanation of the Quran. وَالْمُتَشَابِهِ وَعِنْدَهُ أُمُّ الْكِتَابِ. And the allegorical, and he has the mother of the book. Assalamu ala man ruddat alayhi shams. Peace on the one for whom the sun was returned. حين توارت بالحجاب, when it had disappeared down below the horizon. Assalamu ala Sayyid al-Sadat, peace on the leader of all the Sayyid women. Assalamu ala Sahib al-Mu'jizat, peace on the one who had all the miracles. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Oh Allah, accept our humble majlis, though we are weak, though we are lacking knowledge, lacking experience. إنك تعطي الكثير بالقليل. You are the one who gives much in as recompense for very little. Allah, we know we are shortcomers. We know we don't not see much, very few numbers. Allahumma innaha lashirdimatun qalilun. Oh Allah, this is a very small group of supporters. Oh Allah, make us, Allahumma thabbit aqdamana wa Allahumma arzuqna shafa'at Sayyid Ahmad Hassan salamullah alayhi wa ziyaratuhu fi dunya wal akhirah. Oh Lord, grant us the shifa' of Sayyid Ahmad Hassan salamullah alayhi and his ziyarah in this life and hereafter. Allahumma aktubna min ash-shahidin. Oh Allah, write us as the ones who bear witness to the truth. Allahumma aktubna min ash-shahidin. Oh Allah, write us from the ones who bear witness to the truth. Allahumma arzuqna ash-shahada fi sabilik. Oh Allah, give us martyrdom in your path. Allahumma rayh qulub Sayyid Ahmad, rayh qalb Sayyid Ahmad Hassan salamullah alayhi. Oh Lord, give ease to the heart of Sayyid Ahmad Hassan salamullah alayhi. وأفرج عن الأنصار المعتقلين المسجونين في سجون بني عباس في هذا الزمان, and free the Ansar who are imprisoned in the prisons of Banu Abbas in this era. خاصة Dr. Ala Salim حفظه الله, especially Dr. Ala Salim والأنصار الذين معهم مسجونين, and also the Ansar who are imprisoned with him. اللهم ارفع راية الإيماني حول العالم ورفع كلمة الحق. Oh Allah, raise the flag of the Imani around the world and the word of truth. اللهم انطق على ألسنتنا الحق والصدق. Oh Allah, help us to utter the truth with our tongues, the truth and the reality. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى محمد الطيبين الطاهرين الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أحسنتم جميعا. تقبل الله منا ومنكم صالح الأعمال. حياكم الله. في أمان الله. في أمان الله. Allah يوفقكم من كل خير. May Allah give you all of us the ability to do whatever is good, لما يحب ويرضى, what pleases him, what he will be happy with, inshallah. حياكم الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بإمان الله. بإمان الله وحفظه.